This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by Real Vision, the on-demand online video subscription service for investors. Real Vision's like the Netflix of finance videos in that you pay a subscription fee to get access to a giant library of great videos. In this case, professionally produced titles focused on the world of finance and investing. They're sponsoring today's show because they just put out a new 30-minute documentary diving into the world of investing in the Canadian legal marijuana market. If you've been thinking about deploying some of your investment dollars into Canadian legal marijuana, you should open up realvision.com/marijuana to check out a preview of their Cannabis documentary and to sign up for a free 14-day trial membership, during which time you'll be free to browse their entire catalog of finance videos. One last time, that's realvision.com/marijuana, with real spelled R-E-A-L, realvision.com/marijuana. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Monday, December 11th, 2017, and you're tuned in to episode 390 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Our top story of the day is the news out of California that applications are now being accepted for state marijuana business licensing. On Friday, the California Bureau of Cannabis Control opened up a website where hopeful entrepreneurs can submit applications for one of the state's dispensing, distribution, testing, small events, or micro business licensing types. Applicants will need to have secured licensing from their local town or municipality to get final state approval and will pay a $1,000 application fee. Licenses will be first available by January 2nd and will initially only last for 4 months while the state gets its cannabis business ducks in a row. Marijuana cultivators and processors will need to wait a bit while their respective state agencies get their application processes up and public. The state's Department of Food and Agriculture says they'll be up to accepting cultivation licenses later this month, while the Department of Public Health will roll out the process for manufacturers sometime next month. Tom Angel over Marijuana Moment has 2 stories in the top 3 today, with his first jumping back east, where Vermont's House Speaker is predicting that her state will become the first to legislatively legalize adult use marijuana as soon as the state legislature meets back up in January. I've reported on this issue a lot this year as Vermont's State House and Senate bounced around a comprehensive adult use legalization bill this summer with Governor Phil Scott, who tossed the bill back to lawmakers by veto, along with a number of changes he'd need to see before being okay with signing. That process was halted this summer by the calendar, with Vermont lawmakers simply running out of time to do anything more with the bill. But thanks to Vermont's 2-year legislative calendar, which we're in the middle of right now, the process of picking back up on the stalled State House bill will be easy, which led House Speaker Mitzi Johnson to say on Friday that she expects it will pass early next month when they reconvene. As Tom's also reported recently, Governor Scott has said that he's still on board with signing a revised legalization plan that reflects the changes he requested. With his second of 3 top headlines today, Mr. Tom Angel picked up on news of a meeting held between U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions and a gaggle of top marijuana prohibitionists. On Friday, Attorney General Sessions sat down to talk about marijuana policy with a number of activists working against legal cannabis, including Kevin Sabet of Smart Approaches to Marijuana, Bertha Madras, a member of Trump's Opioid Abuse Commission, and Robert DuPont, former director of the National Institute on Drug Abuse. Swing over to Marijuana Moment to see a video of introductory remarks made by Sessions. Unfortunately, video of the actual meeting itself was not shared publicly, though Tom was able to suss out a little bit of insight with a good old-fashioned zoom and enhance on the printed-out agenda carried by Sessions caught on the C-SPAN feed. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz it in headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Real Vision, the on-demand online video subscription service for investors. Regular listeners to this show hear about the big things going on in Canada's legal marijuana market all the time, which is why I'm happy to talk about our sponsor today, Real Vision, which just put out a 30-minute documentary about the ins and outs of investing in the Canadian legal marijuana market. Information is power when it comes to investing, especially when you're putting your money into something as groundbreaking and dynamic as legal cannabis. That's why you owe it to your portfolio to open up realvision.com/marijuana to check out a preview of their 30-minute Canadian cannabis documentary and to sign up for your free 14-day trial membership, which gives you access to their entire catalog of finance-focused videos. That's realvision.com/marijuana with real spelled REAL. realvision.com/marijuana. All right, time for the Blitz. Jumping back over to California, we have a report out of San Francisco estimating that legal marijuana sales in the city could hit $240 million a year, with $130 million serving as the bottom of the estimated range. The report was put out by the city's controller office for the purpose of estimating the amount of money San Francisco could pull in under various tax rates. Canadian licensed medical marijuana giant Canopy Growth just announced a deal to provide legal cannabis to the province of Newfoundland and Labrador, which will sell it to its citizens through province-owned and private retail outlets. Canopy will provide just over 17,000 pounds of cannabis to the province per year for the first 2 years of the contract, with the company to build a production facility in Newfoundland and Labrador that will be capable of producing more than 26,000 pounds per year. The deal will also allow Canopy's subsidiary Tweed to open up 4 dispensaries in the province. Sticking up north in Canada for headline, Ontario's Ministry of Finance just announced that communities within the province would not be able to opt out of hosting one of the government-owned dispensaries that will open up to handle adult-use cannabis sales sometime next summer. The announcement follows a vote held last week by a city council stating their opposition to dispensaries. The Canadian province of Prince Edward Island just announced some details for their plans to implement adult-use marijuana next summer and say they will join Quebec and Nova Scotia by only allowing sales to flow through government-owned shops. The province still has a lot of details to work out and expects to vote on a final draft of legalization legislation later in the spring. The state of Ohio says they'll have to rely on the honor system when it comes to keeping registered medical marijuana patients from legally owning guns. The state's registry of medical patients will not be shared with law enforcement agencies or other background check databases for the purpose of keeping marijuana users from buying firearms. On Friday, the Ohio Board of Pharmacy said that the registry and patient purchasing information was only going to be accessible to certifying doctors and pharmacists. Of course, the penalty for lying on the federal form asking gun applicants if they use marijuana is a felony, carrying a charge of up to 10 years, so there's a lot of incentive in that honor system not to lie. Dan Adams over at the Boston Globe has a good rundown of the bevy of important issues to be worked out in Massachusetts over the next week or so as the state's Cannabis Control Commission works to finalize the rules and regulations for how their state will embrace legal adult use marijuana. Swing over to this one for the full read. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. And finally for today, Russ Bellevue over at High Times has another story that you really just need to read as he jumps into the recent resignation of activist Rob Kampia, founder and longtime head of the Marijuana Policy Project. As I've reported on as this story is broken, Mr. Kampia has a long and sordid history of sexual harassment stretching back more than a decade, and his departure from the organization he started back in 1995 makes a whole lot more sense given today's current focus on bringing justice to sexual abusers and harassers. If you read any story I mentioned today, it should be this one. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Real Vision, and to all of our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.